It's draft season, well, for some teams in the NFL, including my Green Bay Packers. So, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be talking about mock drafts. Oh, what's that, David the Snowman? You would like the Green Bay Packers not to draft a backup quarterback? Welcome back, everybody, to Interviewing Sports. My name is James Irvin, and these players I'm going to talk about who I think realistically the Green Bay Packers could draft. Now, I'm not going to be unrealistic about we should draft Trevor Lawrence and Devontae Smith and Penei Sewell, even though I would love to draft those players. Maybe not Trevor Lawrence, because we do have a great quarterback, but I do think Trevor Lawrence could be awesome to have. These are realistic players. But first, let's talk about what the Green Bay Packers' top draft needs should be. Number one need should be linebacker. Address this position, okay? Run defense has been bad. We've had no linebacking playmaker abilities. So, we get someone who can, close up run gaps, pass coverage very well, and just overall make our defense a lot better. Linebackers are the key to all of it. We haven't had one. Our run defense has been atrocious. I think you get a good linebacker, you can do a lot better. Number two is number two wide receiver, because you need a number two wide receiver. We know Devontae Adams is the best wide receiver in the game, but I think we get another playmaker for that offense. I think Aaron Rodgers puts up even more touchdowns, more yards, less interceptions, and we're going to Tampa instead of Tampa. Okay. Number three is a number two corner. We know Jair Alexander is a top corner in the game, but we need another guy out there who can do great in pass coverage. Kevin King got burnt. Chandon Sullivan is meh. So yeah, Kevin King could be a great number three option, but we need another number two, another really solid number two corner. Number four is edge. Look, Tom Brady looked very comfortable in there in the NFC Championship, which gave his time to receivers to get open. We have Za'Darius Smith, Rashawn Gary, but Preston Smith regressed a whole lot this year. He was not the same as we saw last year. So you're paying him way too much money. So you get rid of him, you're going to need that. So Rashawn Gary, Za'Darius Smith, another good edge rusher. That could be a great, not a good pass rush. Number five is offensive line. Look, Corey Linsley needs a new contract. David Bakhtiari just got paid a big buck, but he went down the offensive line, did not look the same. Aaron Rodgers was absolutely bullied by Shaquille Barrett and Ndamukong Suh. Yeah, a lot of good pass rushers for Tampa Bay. I really love Shaquille Barrett. He's a very, very good player. But you got to get offensive line help. Elton Jenkins, Corey Linsley, Dave Bakhtiari, and one of these guys who I have listed. And then another fifth guy who could play guard would be a great option. I think Aaron Rodgers would have a lot of time to throw. Sure, he's going to get sacked sometimes. But hey, that happens. I think we can build a really solid offensive line if we draft some of these players. Now, who should I think should be the top guy that Green Bay should be looking for realistically? Obviously, the top guy for them probably would be a Devontae Smith or something like that. But I think Zaven Collins, linebacker out of Tulsa, would be a huge playmaker. I think he should be the number one guy Green Bay looks to go after. Dynamic playmaker, won the Bronco Nagusha Award, given to the best defensive college football player, and he's a complete defender. Pass coverage well, great at run defense. You could be a whole defense together. He could be the true number one linebacker on this team. I think Green Bay's defense would be amazing. I love how he just makes plays. He made a lot of plays at Tulsa. He improved a lot this year in pass coverage. I think Green Bay should be looking at him a lot. Liam Eckenberg, offensive tackle, Notre Dame. Look, never have enough protection for Aaron Rodgers. I said it earlier. You got to protect the quarterback. Even Jordan Love, eventually, okay? You're going to need to protect whoever this new quarterback is. Liam Eckenberg is a young offensive tackle with great footwork. You can outpower him a little bit, but he has great footwork. You're not going to be able to beat him. You're going to be able to beat him with your hands. I think he could be a great option to complement David Bakhtiari. Azeez Ojulari, edge out of Georgia. He has shown flashes of great edge rushing ability. Now, Green Bay needs more pressure. He needs to, roughen the edges. You know what I mean? Smooth the edges out a little bit on his pass rush ability. He can be a great edge rusher in the NFL. Asante Samuel Jr., Florida State corner. He is great in man coverage, okay? He can be beat over the top a little bit, but he is great in man coverage. I think he could complement Jair Alexander. And look, you get him, who are you going to throw to? Because you don't want to throw to Jair Alexander. He'll make you pay. So Asante Samuel Jr. could be a great option. He's also good at run defense, which you would also need a good tackler at corner. I think Asante Samuel Jr. would be a great option to be a number two corner for the Green Bay Packers. Another linebacker, Nick Bolton, out of Missouri. He's a big hitter, also well in pass coverage. This guy could deliver big hits. He delivered big hits at Missouri this year. He was fun to watch. I think he'd be even better to watch on the Green Bay Packers. We need somebody who can hit hard. We need a physical player. Look, Green Bay, they were not a physical football team. The offensive line was. Defensively, they are not a physical football team. They were not that last year. They got outpowered by San Francisco. And they were pretty much outmatched against Tampa. This guy is a physical football player, which Green Bay really needs. Wide receivers now. Amon-Ra St. Brown out of USC. He's a slot guy, and he's also really good in contested catches. I don't know what he is. What more do you want? Good route runner. Best in contested catches, so you can throw it up to him, and he will come down with the catch. Amon-Ra St. Brown would be a great number 2 guy. Rondale Moore out of Purdue. Injury concerns. He was hurt. He had some injury concerns, so that obviously, will steer you away from the prospect a little bit. But provides great run after the catch ability. Davante Adams can go up and beat you deep. He can just beat you off the line. Rondale Moore can just run by you. He is a great run after catch option for Aaron Rodgers. And then another guy who I think would be a great last player we're going to talk about here is Eric Stokes, the corner out of Georgia. Ability to play man coverage, but he is a lot better in zone coverage. He gets a little grabby there, a little concerned. I think if you're going to go corner, I think you should look at Asante Samuel Jr. instead of Eric Stokes. But Eric Stokes is there, and he's not, and you are destined to go corner. I don't think Eric Stokes would be a bad option for you to pick. So, without further ado, let's start a Green Bay Packers mock draft. One round, I'm going to do 3 simulations of it, thanks to the mock draft network. We're going to use their mock draft simulation. We'll go through some of the picks, see if anything big happens that I think could happen. But I hope this has been pretty good. I've simulated a couple times. I think all of this could happen. We'll see who Green Bay could draft based on these players. So, at number 1, Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson 2, Jamar Chase 3, Justin Fields 4, Penei Sewell 5, Devontae Smith 6, Jalen Waddle 7, Patrick Surtain 8, Kwity Paye 9, Caleb Farley 10, Kyle Pitts 11, Elijah Vera Tucker 12, Samuel Cosby 13, Christian Barmore 14, Micah Parsons 15, Jacob Osai 16, Jeremiah Karmas, linebacker, Najee Harris 18, Rashawn Slater, the Bears, J.C. Horn, Sean Bateman, Terrence Marshall, Christian Darrisaw, Zaven Collins, and Nick Bolton go a couple spots before us. That is not good. Now, you got left. So here's some of the players that are available. You got Travis Etienne available. Could need a running back. You don't pay Aaron Jones. Alex Leatherwood, great offensive tackle. Kadarius Toney would be a great wide receiver option. I didn't think he'd last down this far. Liam Eckenberg, who we talked about. Eric Stokes, who we talked about. Azeez Ojulari, who we talked about. Asante Samuel Jr., who we talked about. But I think if Kadarius Toney is there, I know we didn't talk about him a whole lot, but I didn't think he'd last as long. So in the other mock drafts he didn't last as long. So Kadarius Toney, I think if that's, you want to go wide receiver, I think Kadarius Toney has got to be the pick. Last couple picks here, Alex Leatherwood to the Bills, Buccaneers. They take Travis Etienne and Wyatt Davis to the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's get into mock draft number 2. Back here now, Green Bay is up. Nick Bolton and Zaven Collins went ahead of us again. But here's the difference. Kadarius Toney did, so we're not going to be able to draft him. Gregory Rousseau. Interesting player right here. He had a lot of production at Miami in a short period of time. So I don't think we're going to go Gregory Rousseau, although it could be an option. Liam Eckenberg, Eric Stokes, and Asante Samuel Jr. all here. So I think this time we're going to go with Asante Samuel Jr. Also, this means you're going to have to draft up. If you want to get one of these linebackers that I talked about, which I think you absolutely should, you're going to have to trade up a little bit to get one of them. Personally, I'm trading up for Zaven Collins. But, depends on how much the team wants. Both mock drafts, he has gone to the Cleveland Browns. So, try and work out a trade with Cleveland. Go get Zaven Collins. But this one, we took Asante Samuel Jr. Let's get to the final mock draft that we're doing today. So, this is a weird one. I think we're going to do one more because of just how weird this one was. Christian Darrisaw, offensive tackle out of Virginia Tech, has lasted this long. And I can tell you right now, he is not going to fall to 29, which is where the Green Bay Packers currently hold their draft spot. Can't get a linebacker again. I'm taking Christian Darrisaw, but I do not think that's going to happen. He is way too good of a player to fall to 29. I think if that does happen, though, Green Bay, you absolutely take him. We're going to do one more. Hopefully nothing like that happens. Hopefully it's a realistic one, but If Christian Darrisaw is there, you absolutely take him. So, we are here now. Final thing, Christian Darrisaw did not last, and Gregory Rousseau did last to us. So, if Gregory Rousseau is there, I think he's tempting. I didn't take him the other time because I wanted Asante Samuel Jr., but I think if Gregory Rousseau really is there and you can get him to work, he's not going to be the number one guy you're going to want to block. So, yeah, if Gregory Rousseau is there, I'm going to take him now. Gregory Rousseau is my pick. So, out of the picks we picked so far, we didn't get the linebacker that I really wanted. We got some good offensive tackles really to do. I think you're going to have to trade up for Zaven Collins or Nick Bolton. They're really good players. Yeah, Kadarius Toney was an interesting one that fell to us. Usually he goes to the Ravens in these mock draft simulators. But if you want to see a full mock draft simulation on what I think is going to happen, let me know down in the comments below. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And thank you for listening.